You know what's really good? I didn't even bring a pad of paper up to write on.
Let's use my eye.
I think I'm running downstairs. Yeah, I'll just write on the back. I am just. On there.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah, you didn't look like a.
Yes.
Greetings and welcome. I don't know if it's from the microphone.
Yeah.
We are here tonight to act on the warrant articles as posted. The first item of business is to elect a moderator. Are there any nominations?
Tom Harmon.
Second.
Any others? Being none, I close the floor to nominations and would ask that a minimum of 3 votes be cast in Mr. Harmon's name. All right, having received 3 ballots, Mr. Harmon is duly elected, and if you would come forward and be sworn in.
I, Tom Harmon, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine. I do swear that I will discharge to the best of my ability the duties on me as moderator of this meeting.
Give you a autograph. Having been elected and duly sworn, I now turn the floor over to Mr. Harmon.
We're gonna use your microphone.
So they're going to come up here and use this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
And if you're not, if somebody is not aware, we are recording the meeting with the owl. People cannot participate through the owl or through Zoom, but we are recording the meeting, so it will be available on our YouTube page at the end of the meeting.
Pat, would you rise as a red?
United States of America
and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real fast. So as is the normal case, the meeting this evening will be run under the main moderator's manual. This is the fifth edition, from 2005. So we're doing it
Can
again.
you use the microphone?
Microphone, please. Got it.
Mike sitting in front of me, I thought it was working now.
Can't hear you.
Hear me now?
No.
I think we're gonna turn it on. How about now? Try and get sit there, run my motion in. So, as I said, the meeting this evening will be run under the rules of the main.
I'm right here.
So we'll be run under the main moderator's manual, rules and regulations, that's what we've done for a number of years. Things we run through, what I will be doing is I will be reading an article, asking for a motion and a second, then we'll open the floor for discussion on that article. The purpose of the meeting this evening is to act on the articles that are in front of us. Give everybody a chance to speak, if wishes to. Any questions should come through the moderator. The moderator then will turn to whoever is going to want to answer those, respond to them. Give everybody an opportunity to talk, to speak. When you get up to speak, it appears they're going to be coming to this microphone. Is that correct? We'll have the microphone here. State your name and address. Beyond that, any other questions? Everybody can hear me, right? Use the mic. Okay, mic right in front of us. You need a close up? Yeah, I can't tell what you did. I get it close, I get a lot of bounce back from out there, so you can't hear to speak up. So, where we are, okay, time to start. Article 1 was elected the moderator. Article 2, to see if the town will authorize the town council to dispose of tax acquired property in any manner in which the town council deems to be in the best interest of the town. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept Article 2 as written.
We have a motion and a second on Article 2. Is there discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll vote on Article 2. We'll use a voice vote to start with. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 2 passes unanimously. Article 3, see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector to charge and collect interest at a rate of 4% per annum on all unpaid taxes not paid by the due dates, with one half of taxes due on September 30th, 2022, and one half due on March 31st, 2023. The town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, I move we accept Article 3 as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 3. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion on Article 3, we'll vote on Article 3. All those in favor of Article 3, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 3 passes unanimously. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector to accept prepayment of taxes not yet due or assessed. Any excess paid and over the amount finally assessed shall be repaid at 0% interest. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, motion to accept Article 4 as read.
Second.
We have Article 4, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on Article 4? If there's no discussion, we'll vote on Article 4. All those in favor, will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Article 4 passes. Article 5, see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector to continue an 8-month payment plan known as the tax club with interest waived for all members of the club making regular payments in accordance with the rules and regulations governing said club. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept the article as written. I second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 5. Is there discussion? If there no discussion, all those in favor of Article 5, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 5 passes unanimously. Article 6, see if the town will vote to set the rate of interest paid on overpayment of taxes due to abatement at 2% per annum as per MRSA 36/506A. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, I motion that we accept Article 6 as read.
Second.
Motion second on Article 6. Is there discussion?
That was 3%.
Excuse me?
That was 3%. The article was for 3%, not 2,
Article 6.
Article 6.
Article 6, I believe, on the warrant that I have, is that 2% per annum?
Yes.
Wrong page, sorry.
Further question?
Page 48.
Thank you.
Further question on Article 6? I'm sorry. can't hear you.
Is it 2 or 3%?
I believe,
Sorry, it's 2%. He was mistaken and on the wrong page.
Yes.
Page 48.
If anyone's in our report, we're on page 48.
any further discussion on Article 6? If there no further discussion, we'll vote on Article 6. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 6 passes unanimously. Article 7, see if the town will vote to appropriate up to $25,000 from the undesignated fund for the payment of property tax and the principal interest granted during the fiscal year. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept Article 7 as written.
The motion and the second on Article 7, is the discussion. There being no discussion, we'll vote on Article 7. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Seven passes unanimously.
It's a bigger thing.
We got this.
I apologize, one step.
Article 8. Article 8. Article 8. Wait a minute or two again.
That's my.
What?
Take that mic up to someone.
Oh, sure. Very plus.
It's off right now.
Good.
It's off.
Yeah.
This is dead again. This is no working.
Should be.
One, two, three, four. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Back of the room, yes? Oh, they're good.
Okay, Article 8, to see if the town will vote to authorize the deposit of all proceeds from the parking lease agreement between the town and Augusta Young Street LP dated December 12, 2014, and December 22nd, 2015, into a non-lapsing designated reserve account, and to appropriate and expend those funds to pay any costs associated with the repair and maintenance of said parking lot. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, I move we accept Article 8 as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 8. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, we'll vote on Article 8. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 8 passes unanimously. Article 9, see if the voters will allow the town council to utilize funds from the TIF account for the purposes denoted in the final TIF agreement approved in 2020. Town council recommends adoption.
Mr. Moderator, motion to accept Article 9 as written.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 9. Is there discussion?
What is the TIF account, please?
Tax increment financing. Name, please.
Tom Johnson.
When was that? Article 9, did we vote on it yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Discussion on Article 9, other than what Tiff is. Can somebody answer that?
Sorry about that.
With that, it's approximately 700,000.
I'm sorry, did we get your name?
Richie Hirschkopf.
Any further discussion? Article 9. Article 9, to see if the voters will allow the town council to utilize funds from the TIF account for the purposes donated in the final TIF agreement approved in 2020. Town council recommends adoption. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 9 passes unanimously. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the following amounts for police services. Police Department, $1,229,701. Animal Control, $14,550. Dispatch, $258,185, for a total of $1,502,436. Town council recommends raising appropriate for general taxation and other revenue sources, $1,502,436. $36.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept Article 10 as written.
I second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 10. Is there discussion? Name, please.
Audrey Forty of Rodeo Road. Can you hear me? All right. Can you explain where the dispatch is now? It used to bounce between Berwick and Timbuktu and everything. Where is it now?
Does everybody understand the question? Just make sure everybody got the question.
Hi, Audrey and everybody else. My name's Tim Pellerin and I'm your new Old Town Manager. I'm old because great, thank you. Turned 60 this year, but I'm new because I just got here in December. So to answer your question, Audrey, dispatch center is now in Sanford Communication, correct, Chief? You remember? So it's in Sanford. We do day dispatching sometimes through the police station, correct? You have somebody there can talk on the radio. But for the most part, all the calls are dispatched when you call 911, it's routed to Sanford Regional Communications. And then they dispatch police, fire, or ambulance for the town. And that's what the contract fee is for, which is the 258,185. That's for both police, fire, and EMS dispatch, because they dispatch all of those services for us, okay?
My name's Jeff. Is there any more detailed breakdown available for how like the $1.2 million police department? Is that mostly salaries or what is that breakdown?
Back to Jim.
Yeah, give me 1 second to find it in my book.
Jeff, just to answer your question, a copy of the detailed budget, which is like a line by line item, is available at town hall if you ever want to take a look at it.
So to answer your question, and what's your name again? Jeff? So Jeff, to answer your question, $1,031,051 this next budget year will be salaries. That includes the police chief. How many officers do you have, chief?
It'll be
10 officers. That also covers shift differential and covers overtime, as well as new contract change this year.
What's the other 200,000?
Operational expenses. That's operating, so that's, there's benefits, 24,550. No, that's the increase, right? Or that's the- Benefits are about 24,000. Contracted services, which are everything from generator to the computer IT work software, all the stuff that they have, all the software for the police cars. 37,000. There's repairs and maintenance of 35,000. That's for the building, the vehicles, equipment, as well as their uniforms. Utilities for the building is 40,000. Supplies and other expenses, which is janitorial supplies, investigation supplies, vehicle gas, postage, publications, and so forth, another 32,900. Then they have an equipment line for 10,000. And the uniform work gear is 28,000 for a total of $1,229,701. Any questions?
Yes. Cliff Clary, 10 Plains Hill, Southborough. I probably have to refer to the chief. How many part-time officers do we have at the moment? Just curiosity.
I'd refer to the chief.
How many part-time officers do we have at the moment?
Currently have one.
I do.
Just curious, Malcolm Kenny, Southborough, 52 Agneticus Road. What was our overtime hours for the past year?
The overtime laws?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number.
Don't know.
I know it's scheduled.
It went over budget this end. Right. just wondering if it's not time to add a couple more police officers.
So can I answer your question, sir?
Yes,
Thank you. So we have added a police officer. It's not in the budget. That's some of the money we were able to use, the ARPA COVID-19 funds. So in the last ruling, they gave us 3 rulings from the United States Department of Treasury, how we could utilize those funds. We've got about 798,000. So we distributed it to, we tried to get equipment that wouldn't affect, that would, help the capital improvement program, so we wouldn't have to charge out the taxes. We could not use it for taxes, period. It was against the law to do that. One of the things we did do in the very last program is they allowed us to, they said you can use it for supplemental hiring of law enforcement if you could justify why you needed more law enforcement. So we went back and looked, and through 2019 or 2020 into 21, we had a huge increase of people moving to South Berwick. They were moving out of the metro areas, in New York, Chicago, and all the other places, Boston, moving to the suburban areas here. So we've seen a significant increase. So that being the case, there's been an increase in fire calls and an increase in police calls. With that information, we're able to file to use some of the money to hire another brand new police officer position to help reduce overtime, to help take care of some of the traffic issues we have in the town. And that's exactly what we've done. And that expense, which is about 71,000, maybe 75,000, will show up next year's budget, but this year it's paid for with the ARPA money. So to answer your question,
yes.
and it's also a cost saving, so you won't see an increase in your taxes because of the new police officer coming on. So in theory, we're increasing services with no cost to the taxpayers.
Further discussion on Article 10? Does anyone wish to have the article reread? If that's the case, we will vote on Article 10. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 10 passes unanimously. Article 11, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the following amounts for emergency services. Fire Department, $263,377. Emergency Management Services, $6,379. Water Assessments / Fire Protection, $299,735. Emergency / Rescue Services, $98,298 for a total of $667,789. Town Council recommends raising appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources, $667,789.
Mr. Moderator, I motion that we accept Article 11 as written.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on Article 11. Is there discussion? If there is no discussion, we'll vote on Article 11. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 11 passes unanimously. Article 12. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the following amounts for public works. Town Hall, $84,874. Community Center, $74,404. Community Center Food Pantry, $200. Highway, $980,670. Public Facilities, $55,700. Town Garage, $32,225. Transfer Station, $483,075, for a total of $1,711,148. Town Council recommends raising appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources, $1,711,148.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept Article 12 as written.
We have a motion in the second on Article 12. Is there discussion?
Malcolm Kenny again. Transfer station. I'm wondering if what we're showing here is inclusive to transportation, the benefit in Portland, and wages are inclusive also.
That is correct.
It is. Very good, thanks. Mr. Moderator.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things I want to make you aware of, we had to renew our contract this year for tipping and hauling fees. Those are the fees it takes to get the trash to the facility, get it disposed of. Those fees went up 46%. There's nothing we could do. We have looked at everything. The best we could do is we signed a 24-month contract, come back and revisit it. Hopefully we can get some of those prices down in 2 years. Trash is what it is, and, you know, it's a tough business to be in, and we don't control those prices. So between the cost of fuel, the cost of disposal, the cost of wages, the cost of everything, just the tipping and hauling fees alone, we're up 46%. So then the next challenge, okay? The next challenge was, we're paying our transfer station people $16.80 an hour. Would you come work at the transfer station for $16.80 an hour? I wouldn't, would you? Maybe. But here's the thing. So I walked across the street to Dunkin' Donuts one morning to go get a coffee, and on the door it says counter help, coffee server, $18 an hour. Well, I can't pay the transfer station $16.50 an hour to be out in the rain, the snow, cold, with trash and all that stuff. $16.87 an hour or $16.50 an hour doesn't work. I had to up their salary this year. And I can report to you tonight, for the first time ever in 5 years, the transfer station has a full staff. And that's a benefit to you folks, because you support the budget, and I appreciate that support. And I will tell you, the transfer station appreciates that support because it helps them do their job. A lot of those guys were there working through COVID, through the winter. They would work all day Saturday and most of the day on Sunday, every weekend, because we didn't have anybody else to do it. Now we have a full staff of what, 6? 7, full staff of 7. And I'd like to recognize the transfer station staff and Dan, our transfer station supervisor. They do a great job. Give them a round of applause.
There was one more item on that I wanted to ask about. The piece of equipment that we have up there, the bucket.
Yeah.
Does that belong to the transfer station or to you? It's shared between us both. So I'm curious about the funding there for that.
The maintenance of it,
The maintenance, the gas, everything that was spending.
does that coming from your department, Jay? Yeah, that goes, they don't have a vehicle maintenance line in the transfer station.
Okay.
I'd have to look at it. I don't believe they do. So that comes under the vehicle maintenance of the highway.
I think at a soon time, I'd like to meet with you. We had a charge for Perry, our previous town manager, to look at consolidating this operation with other communities. A lot of people that I speak to that come to me feel that it's double taxation to pay for bags, and then they have to pay $483 on their town budget. I know that our recycling is way down. I think, what are we recycling now, Dan? Just bottles?
Malcolm, I just, you know, it's tough when you're talking to him.
Mr. Moderator.
Everybody else would like to hear the answer to that, so we need to be careful.
Okay, so basically, an appointment.
Well, just come in and see me anytime.
Okay.
That'd be fine. We'll have a cup of coffee and I'll answer whatever you need.
Fine.
I certainly will. I don't guarantee you'll like it, but we'll try it.
Well,
I can't hear what he's saying.
yeah, I think you're gonna have to come up to it right.
Does the highway fund cover capital?
All of it.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, I just asked you about the highway appropriation, that's not a capital improvement, I assume, so I'm wondering what that covers.
The highway,
Yes.
Okay. so
Salt?
yeah, so the highway budget is basically to cover the public works department. Covers all the operations, it covers their wages, covers the vehicle maintenance, equipment, everything at the town garage, salt, sand, winter operations, summer operations, all their supplies, covers their utilities, the telephone, covers the employee benefits, if I miss anything, y'all, covers their other expenses, uniform cleanings or uniforms, vehicle gas, postage, publication subscriptions, community expenses for projects around, like they do special projects for the community or events, we pay for that. Their toiletries, office supplies, gloves, safety equipment, hard hats, safety vests, sand, salt, oil, gas, fuel, diesel, everything for the trucks. Everything that you can imagine would operate a public works system.
Thank you.
Okay, did I miss anything?
Cliff Clary, Kent Plains Hill. If that's the case, what is town hall, $84,874? What's that?
That's this building.
I know, but I just heard in the highway, we're paying for a lot of things on the highway. What are we paying for out of town hall?
To heat the building, to have all the utilities, building maintenance.
Okay. So that's the cost for any building.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Just a couple things, if I may, folks. I want to give you a heads up while I have your attention tonight. Thank you all for coming first off. It's great to see a good turnout. Couple things. This week, our big project was the front facade of the front of the building is falling down. So we had to get some screen. I had to have Public Works come over with a lift, and we had to put screen over the whole front facade because we had the front door blocked off because the front concrete's falling off the front of the building. That was the first part. Second part is I want to let you know that we spent what, $1,000 on the boilers this year. About $8,000 on the boilers. We have 2 old boilers, and we had a partial failure early in the winter, and later on in the winter, we had a second partial failure. So just to give you a heads up, if those boilers fail, it's going to be about $350,000 to replace them in this whole building. So we're trying to look at alternatives. I'm just giving you a heads up. This building's expensive to heat, and it's falling apart gingerly slowly, just so you know. So if you come in and one of the exits are blocked off, don't be surprised. We're just trying to keep everybody safe. Thank you.
12, further discussion? There being no further discussion, we'll vote on Article 12. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Hey.
The ayes have it. 13. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $62,500 from the Department of Transportation Highway Block Grant, URIP/LRAP funds, and raise and appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources the following amounts for capital improvements, roads, and road bond debt. CIP roads, $264,000. Road bond debt, $436,000 for a total of $700,000. Town council recommends appropriate from DOT Highway Block Grant, $62,500, and raise and appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources, $637,500, $637,500 for a total of $700,000.
Mr. Moderator, I move we accept Article 13 as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 13. Is there discussion? There being no discussion, we'll vote on Article 13. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 13 passes unanimously. Article 14, see if the town will vote to appropriate $700,000 from undesignated funds and to raise and appropriate $1,578,143 for the following amounts for general government. Town council, $9,250. Town manager, $289,728. Town clerk, $148,567. Finance, $120,097. Computer, $59,062. Administration, $209,800. Tax assessment, $131,839. Employee benefits, $1,301,000. Streetlights, $8,800 for a total of $2,278,143. Town council recommends appropriate from undesignated fund balance, $700,000. Raise and appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources, $1,578,143 for a total of $2,278,143.
Mr. Moderator, a motion to accept Article 14 as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 14. Is there discussion? Let's go back here. With white names. You're gonna probably have to put your mask down. Pick up.
My name's George Bateman. I have a question. Concerns that the allocation to the town manager. I noticed that allocation increased by nearly $124,000 over the last 2 years. So it hurts to know why that is. In fact, that is the largest the line item in the budget on page 46 of the book. So I'm just very curious to know why that is.
Yep.
You also want to make sure everybody heard the question. I'm not sure if the audience heard.
He's asking about why the increase in the town manager's line. I'd like to tell you it's my salary, but for the good common sense of the world, your town council had much better sense than to offer me that much money to come here. So I would have taken it to come here, if that's what they've done, but they didn't do that. So my salary is included in that. There was, when I got here, I restructured the administration of the town. So Jen was the finance director. She had 2 part-time employees, quasi part-time, and herself full-time in the finance department. Jen got moved over, so her salary, her total salary got moved over to the town manager's line. That's the big increase you see. Now, so if you go back and you look at later on, you'll see in the finance section is down a considerable amount, but it's not all the way down, because with her coming over and picking up some of the management duties that I needed help with, we elevated one of her part-time employees to full-time. So that was an increase in that salary. That's what happened. So I promoted her to assistant town manager, which by town code and charter I could. And that's the increase in her salary for this next year.
You're doing a great job. I wasn't questioning your salary.
I wish you would. I wish somebody would. Oh, you want to ask, I'll tell you about it. No, just kidding.
Transfer station.
Yeah, I try to go up and help when I can. So just so you know, folks, people come and say, are you the new town manager? I said, no, I'm the head janitor. Because really, I spend my days cleaning up a lot of messes, just so you know. Thank you.
Further discussion on Article 14.
Steinhauer, Hill Drive. What is included in the administration?
Yep.
In the administrative budget, the biggest portion is contracted services, which is legal fees. I have some contracts for postage machines. The other big portion is our insurance for all of our buildings, all of our equipment, all of our vehicles. Those 2 pieces pretty much make up most of the budget. Also, it's telephone and internet and postage for all of the different departments are the big pieces.
So just to kind of catalog what Jen said, what I want you folks to understand. So this past year, our property and casualty insurance to insure all our dump trucks, our buildings and so forth last year was $85,000. It went up $3,000 this year. Everything is just going up extremely high. We're doing the best we can to control the cost.
That actually went down.
Oh, that's what we got.
Yep.
140 Arovia Road. I'd like to ask the town manager, and would you be assistant town manager? Would that be a correct title or? And
Assistant town
and the town manager's office. Were you able to bring in the budget under the tax levy limit this year?
Yes, we are more than $600,000 under LD1.
Thank you very much.
You're very
That's
welcome.
very important.
Mr. Moderator, can I add something? So let me explain something about the budget process this year, give you some 2-minute snap. We had 8 meetings to build this municipal budget. The budget is up by whatever it looks like $552,944, and that represents a 7.14% increase. That's a massive increase. I get that. And when you're looking at it, you're going, oh my God, Tim, what did you do? Well, I didn't go out drinking the night before I created the budget, I promise you. Well, I thought about it. I had to present this to the town council, and that's what they asked me. What did you do? And I said, well, hang on a minute. This represents, you got to understand something, folks. I'm dealing with all the employees who have to go home and feed their family, put gas in their cars, come to work, and do that stuff. Cost of living and the direct cost of living and the inflation rate went up 6.8% this year. I had to get the employees' salaries up in a lot of places. That represents about 75% of this budget. The rest of the increase are increases in costs I can't control, but I'd love to. Fuel, CMP, phone, all those other things. So here's the scary part. You're looking at this going, oh my God, my tax is gonna go up 7%. No, they're not. I think we were able to figure this out between using some of the COVID money and the extra revenue that we got in last year. And I don't want to give you this because I don't want to say this, don't hold me to this, because you'll be out dragging me through the town square somewhere and making me do things. We are pretty sure that we'll come in at close to a 0 increase on taxes. Through using the revenue, you will not see this increase in your budget this year. If you do, it'll be pennies on the dollar. So we've crafted this 1 year. We have enough residual income coming in from new housing assessment, from other revenues in other places, plus the ARP money that took a lot of the increases out, that we're able to apply them so that I'm 99% sure you will not see a huge increase in your taxes come September when you go to pay it. You might, I can't say that completely because obviously you renovated your home and you get a reassessment, it's gonna be a little different. So don't come in and say, Tim, you said. But I'm telling you overall, we're looking at keeping the mill rate, which is how we assess, you pay your taxes. We'd like to keep it as close to the same, if not lower. And if we can do that with a 7% increase in the budget, I hope you're appreciative of the work that the staff has done, the town council has done, and then my office has done to keep taxes low in the town of Southborough. Okay? Thank you.
Audrey Ford here again. At what point in the year does the state tell South Berwick what its tax cap, how it's computed? Was it before all of this hyperinflation that we're having now? Was it before that they determined the amount each and every year?
It was in January that the
Okay, a lot of
The
that was-
document came
Yeah,
out.
okay, yeah. Kudos to you.
For the moderator, the town manager. So we're using federal COVID funds to get through this next budget. To keep that at satisfy our increases.
To get over the hump one time. To get over this hump one time.
Okay, so we're over the hump with one time. What happens in the future when we don't have that?
We don't need it because we're using the COVID money only for purchases, not for operating expense. So we're doing it one time. You will see the only operating expense we used it for was the new police officer next year, what I had already told you about. That'll be the only increase you'll see, which members of the council confirmed that I've already advised you of that. Then through the budget process, I advised the council that next year, we already started $75,000 an increase because we gotta cover the net office for next year. Okay?
Sun's in my eyes. I think I didn't move so I can see. Article 14, is there further discussion? Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul Steinhauer, Hill Drive. Two questions, Mr. Moderator. Before the appropriation from the undesignated fund of $700,000 for this article. Question one, what's the balance of the undesignated fund? Question two, as it pertains to the tax rates that was brought up, what's the town council's thought in regards to assigning the overlay?
Who wants to? Jim, you stepping up?
So, Paul, say the first question again. I was,
Before taking the $700,000 out for question, Article 14, what's the balance of the undesignated fund?
Approximately 6 million.
Okay, make sure everyone's here.
so 6 million. Paul's asking what's the approximate money? How much do we have in our rainy day cash undesignated fund? And it's 6 million, about 6 million. So part of that is the state requires and the auditors require that we keep 16.5% per policy for our rainy day operations fund in case everybody in town decided to stop paying their taxes in 1 year, that we would have enough to pay 3 months worth of taxes. So that's kind of the balance. So it's really not $6 million of spendable money. It's $6 million. There are monies put aside for our rainy day fund. And the second part of that, Paul,
The overlay, because that affects the tax rates. I don't know, since we're still in the process.
Well, the
of
over-
getting it
right.
off.
I can't. The overlay, there's too many other parts. So the other parts of the overlay that we don't have yet, the assessor needs to finish. Vernon, do you want to speak on your assessment part? The assessor needs to get all the new updates and get that value and apply that value into that formula before we can actually talk about what the mill rate would look like. We have run several hundred practice runs with those numbers to see where we are. And based on her estimates right now, which is what she's working on, she will be done about the end of May. That's where I can tell you, I think that we're going to be in good shape with our mill rate.
Great, thank you.
Do you want to hear the assessors? Or are you good?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion on Article 14. There being no further discussion on Article 14, we will vote on the article. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 14 passes unanimously. Article 15. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources the following amounts for debt service. Young Street debt, $41,262. 2010 CIP debt, $45,647. Library construction debt, $116,750. Police bond, $276,665. Highway equipment, $25,343. Highway building, $29,980, for a total of $535,647. Raising corporate and general taxation and other revenue sources, $535,647.
The moderator, move to accept Article 15 as written.
A second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 15. Is there discussion? See your hand back there. I think I've been kind of looking into the side. Go ahead. Yeah.
Previous Parent Street, I'm wondering when the next bond is up. We're talking about the town hall at Collins Park. And use that money with those debts were paid. The next bond that is up.
Can you just give us just 1 second? We'll look it up.
I couldn't find it in the book. It might be inside.
We don't have it at our fingertips. I'm very sorry, but we'll get back to you on that.
That's an important number to know.
Yes, yeah, we do have it. We just don't have it right here.
Sandtower, Drive. On page 46, there's a line item near the bottom for debt leases bonds for 971,647. Is the 535,000 Article 15 in there?
I can't hear.
It's broken up in the warrant articles.
Okay. We're not to the other articles yet. Okay.
I'm a little bit concerned with no speaking. I don't think the audience can hear these questions.
Right.
So let's be, you know. if
Have her-
we
have-
can-
Have her go, she should go to.
Yeah.
The audience needs to hear the question.
Got a problem.
My question was,
Right.
Article 15 is a total of 535,647, the debt. On page 46, it's debt leases bonds. Near the bottom of the page for $971,647. And I was just curious why the difference. And I was explaining the difference.
So to answer your question, it takes into two bonds, the road bond, and there's another bond against Elm, it's in another section.
The road bond is in a different article that we've already gone over.
So it's broken up into two sections.
In Article 13, it talks about the road bond debt.
Article 15, further discussion? Being no further discussion, we'll vote on Article 15. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 15 passes unanimously. Article 16. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the following amounts for code enforcement and health department. Code enforcement, $59,795. Planning, $89,220. Historic District Commission, $250. Zoning Board of Appeals, $250, for a total of $149,515. Town Council recommends raise and appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources, $149,515.
Mr. Moderator, I make motions that we accept Article 16 as written.
Second motion. We have a motion and a second on Article 16. Is there discussion? There being no discussion, we'll vote on Article 16. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 16 passes unanimously. Article 17, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the following amounts for public welfare. Social services, $51,700. Social civic contributions, $11,500. Recreation, $120,613. Conservation Commission, $4,750. Library, $191,573, for a total of $380,136. Town Council recommends raising appropriate from general taxation and other revenue sources, $380,136.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept Article 17 as written.
I second.
We have a motion in the second on Article 17. Is there discussion? If there is no discussion, we vote on Article 17. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 17 passes unanimously. Article 18, see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the following amounts from capital improvements reserves. Highway equipment, $125,000. Office equipment, $15,000. Fire equipment, $95,000. Police equipment, $10,000. Transfer station, $10,000. Town building reserve, $22,500. Compensating absence reserve, $50,000. Pedestrian safety, $2,000. Comprehensive plan updates, $40,000. Town clerk record preservation, $1,200, for a total of $370,700. Town council recommends raise and appropriate in general taxation and other revenue sources, $370,700.
Mr. Moderator, I will move to accept the Article 18 as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on Article 18. Is there discussion? Others?
Before you roll your road again. Could you tell us what is involved in the town clerk record preservation?
Mr. Moderator, I would defer this to the fantastic town clerk, does a good job of the record. So Madam Clerk, may you.
You don't need to write.
I got it. What's been occurring over the last number of years is we've actually had money in the town clerk's budget to redo all the old birth, death, marriage books from 1892. Rather than just setting an amount each year to spend, we decided that we would do a capital improvement account, put money in there every year so that there's always going to be something, and then we schedule what books we can afford to get done based on what we have saved up. And I'm proud to say, if I may, that all the births, deaths, and marriages and all town meeting records for South Berwick have been preserved, rebound, all the way up until 1964.
Wow.
Well, Dr. Rush.
For the town for authorizing extension.
Further discussion on Article 18. If there no further discussion, we'll vote on the article. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Article 18 passes unanimously. Article 19. See if the town will vote to apply the following amounts from excise taxes, non-tax general fund revenues, revenue sharing, BETE reimbursement, and homestead exemption reimbursement to use towards the 2022-2023 budget appropriations, thereby decreasing the amount to be raised by taxation. Town council recommends the following applications. Excise taxes, $1,425,000. Non-tax general fund revenues, $1,215,350. State revenue sharing, $1,125,000. Homestead exemption reimbursement, $500,000. BETE reimbursement, $13,000, for a total of $4,278,350. Town council recommends adopt.
Mr. Moderator, motion to adopt Article 19 is read.
Second. We have a motion and a second on Article 19. Is there discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll vote on Article 19. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Article 19 passes unanimously. Coming to Article 20, I just had a brief discussion here with people. Article 20 is the article that authorizes the town to exceed the cap. Okay, and this is put into this warrant every year with the possibility of some funding might be decreased in one of the articles, and we would have to increase this. And each year we come, I tell people we'll read this, get a motion, get a second, but we want to vote this article down. We don't want to put the article, we don't want to put it out, say vote it down. We want to read the article, ask for a positive vote, get no ayes, and ask for all those opposed to get all the ayes at that point, and turn it down, and we move on. Everybody understand what I'm saying?
No.
Don't vote yes.
Okay, we
Vote
want
no.
to turn this article down. There isn't any reason to do it.
Because it has to be there.
It has to be.
In case anything else got being passed, it has to be there by law. So when we get to this, we're gonna recommend adoption. Comes to everybody in the audience, they're gonna tell us we're wrong and vote no.
There you go.
Is it open for discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
We can, no, yes, most definitely can be open for discussion. But when we're all done with this, what we want to do is we want to vote this article down. We don't need it tonight. So, is there any discussion? Any discussion on that? Go ahead, Ashley.
It's on record here again.
We need to get-
Sorry, we better have those.
No, you gotta make the motion out.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, we just.
Okay.
I need a motion on Article 20, Sanford Town will vote to increase the property tax levy limit of $5,108,578 established in the town of South York by state law in the event that the municipal budget approved under the preceding articles will result in a tax commitment that is greater than that property tax levy limit. Town council here it says recommends adoption. I don't believe that is correct.
Mr. Moderator, I move to accept Article 20 as written.
I second.
We have a motion and a second.
Now, Audrey Floyer, Rodeo Road. Would the town manager please say again how much the budget has come in under the state tax levy limit?
I'm gonna defer to the finance director.
Okay, the finance director.
We are over $600,000 under LD one.
And can you tell us approximately what percentage of our tax bill is used to pay the bills of the town as opposed to the bills of the school?
One, on your tax bills, it will be broken out as to how much is the municipality, how much is the school, and how much is the county. We don't have all of those numbers 100% yet. The school budget is coming to be voted on.
Do you have a ballpark figure as to what percentage of the budget is?
I want to say it's around 33%.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Moderator, I think that was misspoken. The school is about 2/3.
Yes, yes.
We are.
The town is a third.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes, that's what I thought. I wish the school board would do as good a job as our town management does and our town council.
As do
You've
we.
done a fine and wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
can't
Audrey.
blame you. The taxes.
Howell, South Berwick. Tom, I don't understand how you explained Article 20.
You
I
don't
don't
have to,
understand how you explained Article 20.
how I've explained
Yeah,
Article
like
20.
the name, the gay, the this.
We want you to vote no.
So, fine, what about Council Jack, you want?
For example, if we failed, like say if we failed to transfer the 700,000 from the undesignated fund to fund, those bills, we'd be in trouble here. We would need to increase that limit because we would be missing the 700,000. So we passed all those revenues, so the budget is adequately funded, so we don't need to overrule it. So that's why the suggested vote is to vote nay, because we just don't need the money.
Further discussion on Article 20. What is that one? We don't want, when I say who's in favor, we don't want any ayes. All those opposed, we want the ayes. Nays and yes. So Article 20, all those in favor?
No.
I do not. Article 20, all those opposed?
Hey.
Article 20 fails. Thank you very much. Article 21, to see if the town will vote to adjourn the town meeting. We have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second, we have a motion for the second, not debatable. All those in favor of adjournment?
Excuse me. Moderator. I know it's not debatable, but folks, I'd like to just take a second first off and thank you all for coming out on a nice spring evening, late summer, late spring evening. I want to thank you for coming, supporting the budget that we put together. We worked really hard on it, to try to keep the taxes low. And I'm glad we had a good turnout, because that's the only way I can keep you informed, other than We're trying to find more ways to reach out to you, to be more transparent as time goes on. But I'd be remiss if I let you walk out of this room tonight without first knowing that we had great support from the town council, and I want to thank the town council for that, and I appreciate their work. Second, I want to tell you that the staff and the employees in the town of South Berwick are the best. They really come to work, they care about the job, they care about the outcome. They really do a great job in customer service. And I just want you to know, you may have interactions with them from time to time at the clerk's office, but you really may not see the public works guys working, the transfer station guys, or the police officers on patrol in their cars, and know that they're on their second overtime shift this week, or the assessor, or the firefighters, because they're part-time paid on call. But I just want the citizens of South Berwick to know how valued the employees are to doing the job of protecting you, providing you a great service, keeping the budget and the taxes low, and you get a good deal. So tonight, you have in the back of the room, if you haven't noticed, a lot of your first responders are here who come to your rescue. Police chief, deputy fire chief, the fire department, and they're in the back of the room. And for them and all the other employees, could you just give them a round of applause? for their good- Thanks for coming out, supporting the budget. If you have any questions beyond this meeting, please feel free to come find me in my office. I'll be the guy with the dustpan and the broom cleaning up the messes. I'll try to get you good coffee. I can't guarantee it, but I heard the police department has good coffee. I want to thank the council and all the work, Mr. Moderator. Thank you very much, folks.
Vote. All those in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Budget.